Hi everyone, hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to dive right into the fourth edition of our Coin Roll Hunting Q&A series, where we take and answer some of the most frequent questions that we get in relation to coin roll hunting. And all of these questions come from the comment section in the videos, and also just through private message and through the comment section on our website. But the first question, or maybe I should just mention too, before I do the first question, please feel free to leave your comments and opinions down in the comments section below. But our first question has to do with our banking situation and issues with banks and just the whole topic of banking in general. It's definitely the most important, I feel, the most important issue when it comes to coin roll hunting. And the first question just asks, you often talk about hitting multiple banks. Do you have an account with each of them? And they just go on to also mention that they're getting some weird looks whenever they want to go to the banks and ask for coins. And that's something that we can definitely relate to, and I think any coin roll hunter can relate to as well. But there's the second question here, and they're just saying, wondering if you use many banks or if your one bank is very understanding. And they just go touching on as well some of the dreaded looks they get whenever they're trying to dump their coins. What I'll do is I'll leave the topic of return banks for another video. It's such a large topic, and I think that we can do a good job giving some tips in relation to dumping your coins at banks. But as a matter of fact, my brother and I were just talking last night about some issues that he was having with the dump bank, and it wasn't too serious, nothing that's going to prevent us from dumping the coins there, but I think it is a topic that we can do which should benefit coin roll hunters in general. But just getting back on topic about how we approach our banks. Right now, with our primary pickup bank where we have a standing order and our primary drop-off bank, we do have an account with that bank. And if you don't know, up here in Canada, there are 5 main banks, and we do have an account with one of them. And that primary bank, what we do is we have 2 different branches that we utilize. At one bank, we use that as our pickup bank with our standing order. And again, we use a totally separate branch in the same city, not too far away. We use that branch in order to dump our coins there. And we just feel that if we use a bank where we have an account, we usually don't get as many weird looks or as many questions if we have an account there. We feel like it's a service basically that they should be providing us. However, in the past, we have used banks, and we're doing it currently as well. We do use banks where we don't have accounts, but we only use those banks to pick up coins from. And in the past, we have had a standing order even from a bank where we didn't have an account. But right now, no standing order with banks that we don't have accounts with. But I think that the reason why we could use a bank where we didn't have an account in order to pick up our coins from is just basically because we developed a good relationship with them. We were always nice and friendly, like we always are when we deal with the banks. But we just had a good relationship with them. We were upfront with what we were doing, and at the end of the day, the staff there just didn't really care about it. We were ordering such a small amount of coins. I think that made a big deal too. We just ordered a box of nickels and 2 boxes of pennies, and week to week, they just didn't seem to care. They're very nice about it. So just to reiterate, we do have accounts right now with the bank that we have our standing order with, and we also use that same bank where we do have an account to drop off our coins at. But we feel like too, you don't need to have an account. We have used banks where we don't have an account in order to pick up our coins from, but never use a bank we don't have an account with in order to drop off. But before I leave this topic, I just thought that too I could mention, if you are worried about the weird looks, something that we found really helps us is having a standing order at the bank. We usually get the most questions and kind of weird looks whenever we just go in off the streets and just kind of randomly ask if they have a box of nickels or at the time a box of pennies for us. If you have a standing order, it happens mostly like clockwork. You just go in, ask for your box of coins, and they just get it for you and you're out the door. So if you're worried about weird looks, try to get a standing order with the bank. So I hope that that helps. If there's any more questions in regard to the banking situation, we'll do our best to try to answer them, and hopefully that they'll help you out. But with that said, let's go on to the second question. And the last question that I'll touch on here in this video, just so that it doesn't get too long, has to do with some of the Centennial coins that are up here in Canada. And this question more specifically has to do with the Centennial nickel. So it comes from our website and it asks, I have a nickel with a rabbit on it dated 1867 to 1967. Is there any value in this? And the quick answer is yes, there is quite a bit of value in this coin in my opinion. And if you haven't seen them through our coin roll hunting videos, or even too if you've just come across them, all of the Centennial nickels that were, all the Centennial coins that were minted up here in Canada, all of them from 1967, they have different types of animals on them. The nickel happens to have the rabbit, the penny has the dove, and the dime the fish, etc. All of them were minted in 1967 to commemorate 100 years since the Canadian Confederation. So there are different types of value here in my opinion. If you were to take it just for its metal value, again, we coin roll hunt looking for coins that have a higher metal value than their face value. Just because this is a pre-1982 nickel, it does have a higher metal value, and right now with the price of nickel, what it is, it's worth 7.1 cents in nickel value, and that's a 30% increase from its face value. So there's quite a bit of value there if you were to just take its metal value. But in my opinion, more importantly, there's quite a bit of numismatic value in relation to these 1967 nickels. Just for a little bit of circumstantial evidence, we rarely find them whenever we're coin roll hunting. We went through quite a bit of boxes. I believe it was definitely over 10 boxes where we didn't come across a 1967 Centennial nickel. However, we have been lucky with our last few boxes. We found 3 in our last 2. So even just looking at it from pure numbers, we rarely find them. And whenever we do, we don't keep them with our 99.9% nickel nickels. We keep them off to the side with our other numismatic nickels. And the reason for that is, if you just look a little bit at eBay and other different sites, wherever people are selling these 1967 Centennial nickels, they do go for quite a bit over not only their face value but also to their metal value, and depending on the condition, you may be able to get somewhere between 50 cents and $1. So there's definitely value in these nickels, both in their melt value, their 7.1 cent nickel value, but also too, more importantly, in my opinion, there's a lot of value there just for their numismatic value. They're very hard to find. And whereas, and that should also just be pointed out in relation to the Centennial dime, for example, the one with the fish on it, they go for pretty much at melt value, and there's not a lot of particular numismatic value in any of the silver Centennial coins. So these nickels with the rabbit on them, and also too if you come across the 1967 Centennial penny with the dove, there's a lot of numismatic value there in my opinion. So yes, the simple answer is there is some value in finding those Centennial nickels. So keep it off to the side if you would like, and great job finding that coin. So we'll end the video here, but I hope that that helped to answer some of the questions relating to coin roll hunting and just kind of cleared up some of the issues surrounding coin roll hunting in general. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please feel free to provide your answers and opinions down in the comments section below. That would be greatly appreciated. Also too, if you could subscribe to the channel or give the video a like, we'd greatly appreciate that as well. But that's it for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching as always. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.